2018-19 season hits, we come back. We're predicted to win the NBA championship. We're predicted to go far in the finals. We're predicted to, you know what I mean, like win the whole thing. Like everybody's picking us number one. We have, I forgot about my boy T-Row too, Scary Terry. I forgot my boy. Like we had Markieff Morris. We had Aaron Baines. We had I don't want to forget anybody either. We had Shane Larkin on the year before. We had every position that was filled, man. It was supposed to be great. I go to management in Boston, and I'm like, this is maybe a week into preseason. I'm like, yo, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. That's what I said. I told Boston, I'm coming back. And the reason why I said I'm coming back is because I had plans up my sleeve, y'all. When I tell you I had plans up my sleeve, I had plans up my sleeve. I'm not going to tell y'all who I had in mind or what trade was going to happen, because that'll lead to speculation, but I had plans up my sleeve. I was like, bruh, I'm coming back to Boston. If y'all have me, I made sure it's like, if y'all have me, I'm coming back. So I'm hyped. I say it in front of the Boston crowd. I say it in front of everybody. I tell my teammates, right? I'm like, I'm coming back. I'm signing this deal. And I only said it at that time because I was sure, I was certain, I was happy. I'm like, yo, this is about to be the greatest day of my life after the season is done. I'm about to sign whatever the shit is, right? You know what I mean? It's not so much about the money per se. I want to make sure my family's taken care of. But I was literally happy being able to get that off my chest, so I didn't have to answer any free agency questions, right? A week later, after I'm living out a dream, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy as ever. A week later, my grandfather passes. He transitions. My grandfather transitions, and it's one of the hardest bit of news I could take in my life, because, you know, that man definitely inspired me beyond words. You know what I mean? Like he really impacted my life in very positive ways. And you know, it's still hard for me to even talk about, but my grandfather passing after that, I felt like I was letting a lot of my family members down, because I was spending a lot more time dedicating myself to being great in the game, but I wasn't spending enough time being a great family member. And probably some of y'all don't even know what talking about, and this message will go over your head, and you know what I mean, this shit will end up going viral tomorrow, right? But honestly, it was never just about Boston. It was never about, you know what I mean, like trying to make sense of a decision I made a week prior to that. All I could do is be there for my family. I don't really need sympathy, y'all. I appreciate the support, but I had to get through it. When I had to deal with that, I don't know if anybody's ever had to deal with losing a loved one, but you go through different stages of grief. And guess what I had to go through in front of the public eye? Me grieving. So I'm angry, you know what I'm saying? I'm depressed. I'm over here dealing with real life grief. I cried, you know, about losing my grandfather, bro. And you don't, like, you control and hate all you want, but it's just real shit that goes on in life, where because I'm in the public eye, I can't escape having human emotions. Like, somehow y'all think that we robots out here, and that we don't feel feelings, like, and we don't go through real life circumstances, but we still have to go out and perform. So my grandfather transitions, and then after that we go out on a West Coast trip, and I go to his memorial, and I end up playing a game that next day. And when I tell you that for the rest of the season I wasn't really myself, I definitely wasn't, and I wasn't having fun playing basketball as much anymore, and that started to spill over into our team goals, you know what I mean? And I'm definitely not ever a person that comes in and says, look at me and what's going on. I'm just real. And when I look back on it, would I have done things differently? Absolutely. Would I have done things differently? Absolutely. Did I have to learn from my mistakes in the public eye? Absolutely. Did I have to deal with the consequences of going throughout the season and then making a decision to go back home and be with my family? Absolutely. But let me tell you about the positives. I learned how to cope with grief. I learned how to cope with myself going through depression. I learned how to go seek out help from family members. I learned how to make connections stronger. I learned how to admit to being wrong in situations where, you know, you feel justified to be right, but really you just got to move on in life. You know, you just got to put one step in front of the other. Those are some of the positives, and the other positives are I really learned more about myself and what makes me motivated every day to get up. Because if any of y'all know anybody that's dealt with losing a loved one, you can deal with suicidal thoughts. You feel me? You can deal with suicidal thoughts. And that's just one of the things of grief. Like, you don't want to live here anymore on this earth. And that's the realness of life. But throughout that season, 2018, 2019, I'm dealing with all this. We end up going into the first round against the Pacers. And we go into the second round against the Bucks. And it was just a different level, bro. It was a different level of physicality. It was a different level of focus. And us as a team, we were still really young. We were only in our second year together. If we all stayed together for 5, 6, 7 years, then I'm pretty sure that, you know, who knows? Y'all can speculate what would have happened, but that didn't. You know what I mean? We had 2 small years together, and I'm judged based on 2 years of being with a team, and then leaving that team to go to my hometown to play. And all of the speculation, all the shit that gets thrown on my name, I feel like, again, people just hide their hand all the time. So I had to learn a lot once I left that point in my career. Being in Boston taught me a lot. I definitely dealt with a lot of, shall I say, overt and over-the-top racism, even being a player in Boston. I'm not saying that Boston's racist. Don't ever fucking quote me in saying that shit. All I'm saying is that the reality of the situation is I dealt with a lot of shit that I never talked about, because if I wasn't performing up to their standards or expectations, let's just say words were flying everywhere. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, the way that they were treating other teams, and not just in basketball, but in other sports and other entertainment venues, it got to be too much, and I couldn't defend that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna say that it was comfortable for me, bro, because it really wasn't. It was very uncomfortable for me. So towards the end of the season, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then, you know, I had to make a move to go back home and be with my family. And that's what it is. You know what I mean? I don't have to say and repeat some of these things. I don't. Because all of this that I'm talking about is really my perspective. Other people may have a different perspective, right? But if you weren't in our locker room, and if you weren't in our day-to-day, you really don't know what the fuck was going on. You really don't. You really don't. If you weren't there every day, if you weren't in our practices, if you weren't in our team meetings, you really don't know what the fuck going on. So when I'm telling you my perspective, you don't have to respect it. You don't have to agree with it. You can criticize it. You can judge it. But this is my perspective, and this is what it is. So going from Cleveland, I told y'all, from 2017, getting traded to Boston, going from Boston and being a free agent, my journey, let's just say injuries, losing loved ones, it shifted me into a whole different path. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't expect my grandfather to pass during the year where I've committed to Boston for 5+ years, and then I lose him, and then I go through some of the worst mental health crises in my life. You know what I mean? I'm dealing with real life issues because I didn't know how to deal with grief. Being in Cleveland, being injured, you know what I mean, being with one of the greatest to ever play the game, and wanting respect from my peers, and wanting to go out and start something new. I didn't know it was going to come with all that, bruh. But it did. But it did, and it only got me stronger. It only got me stronger. It only made me stronger, bro. That's what I'm trying to share with y'all. Like, let all the people talk and do that, but their journeys are not a reflection of anything close to what I've been through. And I don't say that as if we're not living a similar, you know what I mean, a life that is normal, but I'm dealing with this on a public stage. You feel me? I'm dealing with this in the public eye. That's like one of the weirdest things. I'm doing this shit in public. So if you waking up every day and people are like studying your life and observing your life in the way where it's just like, bro, I'm human, like I'm going through shit right now. And it's like, you know what I mean? I hope y'all can understand. It's like, nah, we don't understand. Nah, fuck that. You supposed to still be, you know what I mean? Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm like, bro, chill. Chill. Chill out. Chill out, bruh. Chill out. So the last 5 years for me have been like dealing with what is preparing me for the next few chapters of my life, because the next 5 years, I guarantee they won't be like the last 5 years. You can have all oh Kai, you got second round exit in the playoffs, man. You got swept by Boston this year, man. You're not who you once was, man. You're not this. Like, keep that same energy, bro. You make it greater for redemption to happen. Y'all make it greater, bro. And then on top of that, all the supporters and love that I get outweighs and outshines all of the negativity, I promise you. So when I address the negativity, y'all have to, because I'm being funny. I troll that shit. Alright, it's funny to me. It's just the Aries speaking to me. Alright? It's the Aries speaking to me, bruh. It's the Aries speaking to me. So y'all gotta let me talk my ish sometimes, but to all the people that love and support and get inspiration, not only from me but from other great individuals, I'm with y'all. You know what I mean? I'm grateful that I could do this in public, because I'm just showing y'all that they throw a whole bunch of shit and try to hide their hand. So whenever you get successful, or whenever you're on some type of trajectory towards greatness, people are always going to be part of that demise. You know what I mean? Always try to break your foundation, but paying attention to the people that genuinely love and support you really gets you through. You know what I mean? Because I don't walk around alone ever. I don't ever feel alone ever. And I felt most alone when I was dealing with some of the things I was dealing with in the last 5 years. You know what I mean? I felt like, damn, who can I really turn to? And when I found that system, bam, I end up in Brooklyn. Me and Kay get together. We rocking out. We mobbing out. We go to Brooklyn, we shake the whole world up. We're like, yo, fuck this, it's me and you. You know what I mean? We doing this shit together. But even in that sense, like, me and him had to grow in a most beautiful way, because like you look at his journey, you look at my journey, man, like I don't remember dealing with as much shit I dealt with in like 2013-14. What? Bro, what are y'all spamming in here, bro? Yo, bro, chill, bro. Stop talking down on people's names, bro, in the chat, bro. Y'all gotta chill. I'll be honest with you, I don't feel the same way some of y'all feel about teams, players. When y'all be saying all that disrespectful shit, bro, y'all can miss me with that. I don't go behind people's backs and be like, yo, oh man, that guy fucking sucks. Nah, bro, I don't do that. I don't go on social and be like, nah, that guy fucking sucks. Nah, bro, I don't do that. I'm getting too disrespectful on people's sacrifice and hard work and what they do to grind. And we need more appreciation and giving flowers to people that show up, you know, on whether it be the highest pressure situations, bro. I'll give you one Kobe story before I leave. 2 points in time. Do y'all want to hear about the time when I first met him in 2012, or do you want to hear about 2016 after we won and what we talked about? Alright, bet. 16. You guys remember I got hurt in the finals. Golden State ended up winning the championship. I was really going through it that whole summer. You know what I mean? I had a cast on my leg, so I ended up calling Kobe like during that playoff series in 2015. We were playing against the Chicago Bulls, and I was telling him like, man, my left leg, man, it's no good, it's no good. And he just kept saying, man, what you talking about, what you talking about? I was like, nah, Kobe, bro, my leg up, man. And Kobe was like, all right, man, so what else can you do? And I was like, I mean, I'm trying to do my best to still play defense and still, make an impact out there while I'm playing. And Kobe's like, all right, well, I need you to focus on the things that you can do. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the things you can't do. Just worry about the things you can do. Even if you're on one leg, don't think about the injury. Think about the end goal. Think about the mission. This was in 2015. I'm going to bring up 2016, right? But this all leads in. So he's like, all right, focus on what you can do. I think it was game 5 against Chicago in Cleveland. Bro, I was literally hopping on one leg. I don't know if anybody remembers that game. I don't know if anybody remembers this game. But I ended up having like 25. We were going against the Bulls. They had D Rose. They had Joe Kim. They had Jimmy. They had Mike Dunleavy. They had Pau Gasol. They had a good team. They had a solid team. So Cole was telling me before the game, man, just focus in on what you can do, what you can do, what you can do. I said, all right, bet. I ended up going to have 25. He said, I told you after the game. And me, I'm just laughing. And I'm like, man, F this guy, man. This guy's right, man. But F this guy. And I don't mean F this guy like in a negative way. I was just saying, man, F this guy, man. This guy's right, man. This guy's my hero, man. So game 6 happens, and my knee is hurting even more. And he said, man, just go out, give it all that you can, and just live with the results. So I ended up playing like 8 minutes or whatever in game 6. We ended up beating Chicago Broncos crazy. I ended up, rehabbing my leg. I ended up coming back game 4 of the Atlanta Hawks series. Atlanta was killing it that year. We make it to the finals. I get hurt. Boom. So now I'm in the summertime. Fast forward. I asked Cole, like, how do I attack this season? How do I really lock in and focus in on the mission, man? It's just winning the championship. He said straight up, you can't give a about what people say, and if you are paying attention to what people say, stop. He says stop paying attention to all that bullshit. People are gonna talk anyway. Just be you. Don't take a back seat to anybody. Just be you. So I ended up seeing him in LA the night before the last game we played against him in LA. And we went out for a little while, and he gave me some extra motivation, man, in the most Kobe way. He was like, man, I think Golden State's definitely going to win the championship this year. Bro, can you imagine Kobe saying this, bro? This is like my hero, bro. He's like, yo, I think Golden State's really going to win the championship this year, bro. Bro, we had dinner, bro, and this dude says this shit to me, man. I'm looking at this dude like, bro, what? Like, what? Bro, he not just that to me, bro. There's no way he just said that to me. He was dead ass too, though. He said, nah, man, I think Golden State's gonna win this game. They're gonna win the championship this year, bro. and man, you got a few responses that you could give back to just the greatest to play this game. You know what I mean? Hey, by the way, when I say the greatest to play this game, it doesn't mean I'm knocking anybody else. So he says that to me, right? And I looked at him straight in his eye, and I said, no, they're not. What are you talking about? He said, nah, man, they got a really good team this year. I just feel like you guys match up well against them, but I just feel like they have a good chance. I said, they're not in this year. We're going to win this shit. We definitely match up well. And he was like, man, I mean, Steph is killing it this year. And I'm like, man, I'm not trying to hear about Steph right now, bro. Like, I respect the shit out of Steph, but I'm going to smack at him. I think 3 months later or 4 months later, I don't know when we played them or whatever, we were in LA. He retires. He has 60 his last game. You know what I mean? He goes out with a bang. This happened the same year we won the championship, by the way. So he, gives me some words of encouragement before the playoffs. And I still remember that conversation, in Newport Beach, bro. And him saying that, and it just motivated me more and more because I just imagine him saying that shit on purpose, bro, just to like put some reverse psychology on it. And by the way, I don't care if y'all clip these things, man. Like, I respect the hell out of a lot of the players and my peers, bro. Like, so y'all can have that shit. I'm talking about 2016. We end up through our first 2 rounds, and then we meet up against the Toronto Raptors, which was one of our hardest series, East Conference Finals. And then we end up playing Golden State, bro. And it's our second year in a row playing them. And we get down 3-1, and I just remember, like, there was a calm that we had about us, the whole team. And we just knew that we were going to do something special. And I remember calling Kobe, and you know, he didn't really have much to say this time. He just said, "I think you know what I'm gonna say," and the rest is history. Won my first chip, and I'm not trying to get too emotional right now, but yeah, I saw my dad and my sister afterwards. But the first people I called was Kobe and Gigi. Those are the first people I called after I won the chip, because it happened. Everything he said, you know, that I needed to do, I did. I followed the blueprint, and we won. I still remember like it was yesterday. Like Kobe hated FaceTime calls, right? He hated it. He always was, you know, texting and stuff like that. But like, they were so happy for me, and I just, like, I had tears in my eyes. You know, like, I was a little tipsy. I ain't gonna hold you off of the off of that good champagne, but man, like, it was different. It was different. And those are the special times that have happened in my life where I look back on it, and it wasn't just about the championship. It was just really about the connection to great people. And what it did for me is it just shaped my journey afterwards. You know, and like, he was a really good friend, really good mentor, and it really kept me going in a lot of different things, bro. You know, so that's what 2015-16 looked like for me in one of my Kobe stories. I got a few more, but we could tell them on the next stream and stuff like that. Last 5 years, lost my grandfather. He transitioned. Lost Kobe, Gigi, all the families, family members that were lost in the you know, during that tragic day. Unfortunately, you know, sending blessings to all of them. But you know, we've lost artists, we've lost entertainers, we've lost authors, we've lost so many people in our lives, right? That were like huge inspirations for a lot of people. And I just want to let y'all know, don't take this life for granted, y'all. You feel me? Don't take this life for granted. Like, don't ever take this life for granted. You know, free the guys too that are in prison right now during this time. You know, like, it's emotional for me, because I just know how much a lot of these people mean to us. You know, like, we may not talk about it, we don't have to talk about it, but I know these people not only mean something to me, but they mean a lot to the world, and I'm grateful that they get to share themselves with us in a way that it leaves lasting impressions. And I just pray I get to do the same thing. You know, I really pray that I get to do the same thing. And I'm doing the same thing, and I'm trailblazing and making these people proud, making my family members proud. But yeah, bro, I gotta get off this stream for the night, yo.